Okay, so today we are working on our building elements and compounds. You will have one tray of the Molly-Mode atoms. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna be very careful when you're opening this. You are going to just gently take the lid off, set the tray next to you, take the instruction booklet, set it inside there, then gently take the tray and set it inside. Now, when you are working with these are not toys, they are tools. You should not be shaking them like dice. You should not be rolling them around. These are tools. So what we're going to look at is these actually represent the atoms. All of these gray things represent the bonds. Now, when you go to make bonds in a little bit, it doesn't matter which ones you choose, just as long as you keep it consistent. So if you decide to use short, they all need to be short. If you want to go with the long, they all need to be long. So first we have two oxygen atoms, and they are just hanging out, but they're kind of bored, you know, they want a friend to play with. So they come over to each other and they decide to be friends. And so being friends, they form a bond, right? So we're gonna hook these together and we have a bond now. Now this, because it is the same atom, same type of atom throughout, this is just an element. It is not a compound. Just because I have two here does not make it a compound. This is still an atom because they're the same, it's still an element because I have the same atom. If I had different colors, then that would represent a compound. So in your ISN, you are gonna write that you have two elements here and you are going to draw a picture of this, okay? Your chemical formula is going to be O2. It should look like this. And we will post a picture of the notes on Google Classroom as well, okay? So here is our first creation. It is still an element. It is the element oxygen. So now I'm gonna have 6 hydrogen. Very carefully set them out. Okay, and so since it's hydrogen, hydrogen is a gas. These atoms move very, 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 very quickly. And so being in Texas, it's so hot. So they decide, oh man, we really wish we could go swimming, but we need a pool. And in order to have a pool, what do they need? They need water. So they call up their oxygen friends and say, hey guys, we want to have a pool party, come on over. So their oxygen friends, 3 oxygen friends, come on over. And since they're all friends and having a party, they are going to form bonds, okay? So since we are making water, we need 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom. So the oxygen atom is gonna be in the middle. The hydrogen atoms are gonna be on the end. And voila, I have 1 water molecule. Now, what defines a molecule is that it has to have, it's 2 or more atoms, and they have to form a chemical bond. This gray piece represents the chemical bond. So I have a molecule here. But is this an element or a compound? Well, like we discussed earlier, this was the element because we had the same type of atom. Now here on these, we have different types of atoms. That's what makes it a compound. You need to recognize the difference in a compound and an element. This is an element, they're the same colors. This is a compound, different colors. You are again going to draw this in your ISN, and you are going to copy the notes that are going to be posted on Google Classroom as you work through this.
Okay, so now we have practiced making molecules that are just elements, and we have made molecules that are compounds. Now, the great thing about compounds is that you can make all sorts of different compounds out of the same types of elements and atoms. So we have all of our friends who went to the pool party, right? So we've got our water molecules here, our hydrogen and our oxygen, okay? They're hanging out at the pool, having a grand old time, but you know, one of these ding-dongs decide that they're gonna run around the pool, which we all know is a horrible idea. So they go running around the pool, and they fall and boom, they skin their knee. Uh-oh, they need mama to clean that knee out for them, so they are going to go and get some hydrogen peroxide. Now, we can easily turn our water into hydrogen peroxide by creating another chemical bond. So to turn water, H2O, into another compound, hydrogen peroxide, H2O2, we're simply going to create another bond with our molecule that we have here. And I might need to get a different red. We'll do it this way. have enough bonds. Okay. None of these have enough bonds. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Here we go. All right, so I still have the same elements. I have oxygen and I have hydrogen, but because I have additional bonds and I have different numbers of atoms, I have created a different compound, hydrogen peroxide, okay? Now, we've got hydrogen peroxide over here, but we still have these water molecules hanging out and having a great time. And they're like, oh my goodness, this is so fun. But you know what's even more fun than a pool? What? I don't know. The ocean. So they decide that they're gonna go swimming in the ocean. Well, the ocean isn't just regular water. The ocean is salt water. So our little water molecules need to be joined by a sodium and a chlorine molecule, because sodium, an explosive metal, combined with chlorine, a deadly gas, turns into your friendly everyday, we ingest too much of it, salt. So now we're at the ocean. We have salt water. Now, is this going to be considered a pure substance or a mixture? Okay, a lot of people get confused about this at first, but this is actually a mixture, not a pure substance. The reason that this is a mixture is because these two molecules have not chemically bonded together. They are still two separate substances that are mixed together. So this is going to be a mixture. This is a pure substance because the atoms have been bonded together chemically. It would take a chemical reaction to pull them apart. Here, if I was to take a big old cup of ocean water and pour it into a pan and turn it up really high and boil the water, that water is going to evaporate and my salt would still be left behind. So they were not chemically bonded, they were just physically mixed together. So this salt water, just a mixture. Water by itself, pure substance.
Okay, hey guys, as an extension, you're going to build a 3D model of your new compound. You're gonna design your own compound in this. And on an index card, you're going to, with your new compound, it must contain at least 4 different elements. 2 elements must have 2 or more atoms. And then you're going to have to write its chemical formula. And then you're going to count out the number of elements and count out the number of atoms that you have created, okay? And that is going to be off the index card. Thank you.